Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
They're telling you to turn it up.
We can't turn it up.
Is that focus speed working fine for you?
Yeah. Is it not working for you?
It's not working on a playback for some reason.
You don't have. Aren't you supposed to have something jacked up then? Call Chrome. Oh.
Where are you?
Hey Justin. Last week that was jacked up, so I don't know.
That's as loud as they're going to let me do it.
So what we need to do is we need to get the video, the mirror version of the video, and then just jack up the
And
audio.
you may have to do that in Audition.
We could do that in audio.
Pop it and expand it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they have a set volume, then let's just bypass that. Did you see how the coaches look at us? You know what? We'll just play twice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's contest here at Dragon Field between the St. Genevieve Dragons and the Afton Cougars. St. Genevieve comes into this game with a 1-0 record after their win last week against Festus, Class 4 team with a lot of really talented skilled position players. Very good offensive game for St. Gen. Defensively, they struggled at times, but as the game went on, they seemed to get better and better. And they really flew around the field, just missed some assignments here and there, allowed Festus to stay in the game a little longer than maybe they probably should have. But talking to the coaches this week, they feel like they've had a really good week of practice, and they've remedied some of those problems. Last week, Caden Fly led the way. He had 4 touchdowns, 3 receiving touchdowns, and 1 special teams touchdown as he ran back an onside kick. Aiden Boyer had a really strong game. He was 7 for 9, 4 touchdown passes. And Aiden Butcher, first game for St. Gen as he transferred in last year, second semester, and well over 100 yards for him and a couple scores. Was really impressive in his first game for the Dragons. Today they face Affton. Affton coming off of a 1-9 season a year ago. They have some pretty talented kids. They were really young last year. Taryn Mitchell is going to be their probably most looked for receiver. He's free safety on defense, receiver on offense. They really try to run their offense through him. They run that wishbone. He runs the wing, and they'll try to hit him with a lot of misdirection, a lot of play action passing. Tristan Dusholt, 6'2", 230, big kid. He runs the fullback position. He's kind of a road grader on offense and stuffer on defense. Will get a lot of carries, but he's kind of the key. He'll kind of lead the defense to where the ball is going to go. And then Nathan Pyatt looks to be one of their up-and-comers. He's a junior and got a lot of playing time last year. They do run some spread, but mostly wishbone, so that's what we expect to see here tonight. For our lineup, as it looks like we've won the toss and will receive, we have Aiden Boyer, who's going to be leading the way, a 3-year starter at quarterback. Had a really good game last year. He's grown a ton over the last few years, keeps getting better and better. Receiver, they're going to have Aiden Meyer, Tucker Reed on the outside. Caden Fly and Spring Camper are going to get most of the looks at the inside positions. Also, you'll see those two in a lot of motions coming across, some jet sweeps. And then at running back, Butcher kind of established himself as the main guy last week, but you'll also see Jack Farlow and Justin Schwenk get the ball. And then at offensive line, you got 4 out of 5 starters back from last year's team. You got Dalton McBride, Jacob Schweigert, Nathan Johnson, Thomas Piku, and Anthony Bader. The only one missing out of that group is Dale Probst as he graduated. Really good lineman that they're going to miss this year, but Jacob Schweiger is going to try to fill those shoes. And we are ready for kickoff here at Dragon Stadium. And there's the kick. It's an onside squib kick early in the game, and they recover it. And you cannot advance an onside kick. And right away, they catch St. Gen off balance. And that's number 20, Taryn Mitchell, the one we were telling you about, recovering the kick. And Afton's going to start with the ball, even though St. Gen won the toss. So Not a great start for St. John, but it'll give the defense time to assert itself here early in the game. On defense, we have Will Vaughn and Matt Schmidt are going to be in the middle. Jordan Jacob, Landon Thompson on the outside. We'll come back to that in a minute. We got trips to the right, solo to the left, and shotgun formation, quarterback flanked by the running back. And Afton's going to start with the spread formation. And there's the play fake and quick little pass to number 6. That's caught by Cobe Burney. And that's going to move the sticks as he's tackled by Gabe Willett. All right, so that's going to bring up 1st and 10 from the Afton 30-yard line. Excuse me, St. John 30-yard line. And there's the handoff out to the outside. And that's number 10, Nathan Pyatt. He's going to get ahead for about 4 yards, and that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 6. Tackle made there by Jacob Johns. He was the 2nd leading tackler last week behind Bryant Schwint. He had 8 tackles in that game. Bryant had 9. And here we go, trips left. This time running backs flanked again to the strong side, but this time it's the left side. And there's the play fake. And looking deep over the middle, and he's wide open, and that is a catch for number 20, Taryn Mitchell. And right away, the receiver we expected to get most of the looks, Mitchell, gets a touchdown reception, and Afton goes up quickly 6-0, as we'll see if they decide to go for the point after attempt or go for the 2-point conversion as they line up in the swinging gate. Kicker is on the field with the whole, oh no, that's the quarterback. And looks like they're going to go for 2 out of the swinging gate formation, and rolls to the right and way overthrown by the quarterback. And St. John survives without the 2-point attempt being good. Moiko just way overshot his receiver. He had a couple steps on the defensive back there, but that's a tough throw going to the outside and unable to convert. So 6-0 lead here for Afton as they jump on St. John early, a game that St. John, looked to be the heavy favorite coming in. But onside kick, 2 pretty efficient pass plays, a nice run play up the middle. And next thing you know, it's 6-0 Afton, and St. John's going to have to wake up here as they get off to a slow start in this game. So right away, Afton pulling some tricks out, onside kick out the gate, and then the swing gate off the 2-point conversion. So they're going to leave it all out of the field. They're not just going to lay down here for St. John tonight. St. John's going to have to earn it. And they're going to have to play a lot better than they did in that first 1 minute and 10 seconds. And they're lining up in the same formation with the kickoff again. 4 to the left with the ball on the left hash mark. We'll see if they decide to do the same thing or kick it deep. I assume they'd kick it deep, but we would have thought that last time as well. So there's the kick, little squib, fielded cleanly by Mason Nix. Mason Nix dances at the 40, cuts back, and he gets to about the 47-yard line. So St. John's going to start their first offensive possession in good field position as Nix fielded that ball. Surprised a little bit, I'm sure, but did a good job catching it and making a guy miss moving forward. So we get the first look now at the St. John offense. Like we said earlier, Aiden Boyer, good game last week, 9 for 11, very efficient. Ball's pretty much on the money all night long, and had some big pass plays to Caden Fly, particularly down the seam. So we'll see if Afton adjusts their defense to try to take Caden away, but they do have Wyatt Springcamper this week. They were missing him last week as looks like we got a false start. That looks like Dalton McBride. The one thing, and I don't want to make excuses at all, but, this is one of those games that coaches hate just because we did not have school today. And when you don't have school, the kids' routines get thrown off, and nothing ever seems to be quite right at the beginning of the games, and it takes the kids a little while to get into the flow. So we'll see if they can settle in now that we've had that one defensive possession as they hit on the fly sweep to Spring Camper, and he's going to get about 3 yards. Good hard run, but a good tackle there by number 22. That's Andrew Shear. Really good job containing there, coming up, getting a good lick, making sure Wyatt doesn't get any yards after the contact. And Wyatt comes off limping after missing last week. He's limping after the first offensive play of the game. So hopefully he's okay, as he'll get some attention from Tyler Brown, the trainer down there, who does a great job with all of our kids and all of our programs here at St. John. And there's a snap, quick pass from Boyer to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to get ahead for about 5 yards, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 right prior to midfield. So probably 4 down territory if you get half the distance here. So don't need to get the first down, but you do need to get positive yardage and give your offense a chance to convert on 4th down if you're not able to get the first here. They'll go 3 to the left. Look over to the sideline. Reinhardt now moves to the inside, taking Spring Camper's spot. He's over here with Fly. Fly, a lot of room there. We'll see if they want to go there. Aiden decides to keep it, goes to the outside. He's at the 45-40, and he's out of bounds with a 1st down and more, as he gets about a gain of 13 on a 3rd and 8. And St. John will now have 1st and 10 in Afton territory at about the 39-yard line. We got trips to the right, one receiver to the left, and up the gut. That's Jack Farlow. Good run there. Nice blocking by the offensive line. Left guard and the center really made a huge hole. That's Schweigert and Johnson. Gave Farlow a lot of running room. He didn't get touched till he was about 7 yards down the field. Got about 13 yards total on the carry. So good start here for the Dragon offense after they were unable to get the ball after the onside kick, but moving it very, very fluidly down the field. And now they are at the 26-yard line, threatening to score quickly and tie the score and hopefully take the lead with an extra point. So again, we got trips to the right. Aiden Meyer by himself over here to the left. Farlow flanking Boyer. And there's a little read play, and Boyer pulls it outside at the 15, at the 10, and he's pulled out of bounds just outside the 10-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Nice run there for Aiden. 15 yards on that carry, and St. John continues to move the ball down the field. Looks like we got a flag right where they pulled Aiden out of bounds. We'll see what that is. Looks to be a 10-yard penalty as they march it back. Must have got a hold on a receiver there. So that's going to take away the 1st down, but it's still going to be a 1st down because they'll replay the previous 1st down. It'll be a 1st and 5 now after the holding penalty. The yards will still count for Boyer, so it's still 15 yards. As my son Caden here taking the stats. Want to make sure he gets that correct. But now we have a 2 running back set as Butcher and Farlow are in the backfield, and that pass was a little bit behind Caden Fly. He had to stop and wait for it, gave Afton time to come in and break it up, and that falls incomplete. It's now 2nd and 5. And it looked like there was movement in the St. John backfield, and they didn't call it. Butcher looked like he was getting a little antsy. He was kind of bobbing forward at the snap, but no call. and it'll be 2nd down and 5 from the 20-yard line. And there's a little counter play to Farlow. Farlow with a ton of room. He cuts back. He's inside the 10-yard line. He's down to the 8. It'll be 1st and goal for St. John as Farlow gets about 12 yards on that carry. And again, great job. Good pull there. Schweigert and McBride both pull on that play of the counter tray. McBride leads up the hole. The right side of the line did a good job collapsing down. And lots of room there for Farlow. And there we go. Same play to the other side. This time, Aiden Butcher breaks a tackle in the backfield, and he walks into the end zone. Great offensive drive as Butcher goes in from 9 yards out. And he scores, ties the game at 6-6. And that'll bring in Bryant Schwint for the extra point. Bryant was 6 for 6 last week. Great start to his season as a kicker, including one where they had a penalty. It ended up being the equivalent of a 30-yard field goal, and he banged it through with room to spare. He's a really good kicker. And there it is through the middle of the uprights, and that's going to be 7-6 now as St. John takes their first lead of the night, and they'll kick off to Afton. I do want to send a quick shout-out to our tech department and our athletic department. Our athletic department purchased this great equipment for us. They did it for all the sports programs, or at least the ones that take place in the gym and the football field. We got this camera that basically is stationary out here at the field, but inside the camera it's got motion detectors. It moves with the football. We can tap into that with the broadcast, and we shouldn't have any more issues with our camera following the ball. It's a hard thing for kids to do, and it's a hard thing for me to do when I've done it, to follow the play when you're trying to watch a game. So hopefully we won't have those issues this year, at least at home games. And we're excited to have this technology as it does all the zooming and the panning for us. So thanks to our tech department for getting us set up with that, and our athletic department for purchasing all the materials through the Booster Club. And there's the kickoff by Schwint down to the 5. They try a reverse, ball's out, and breaks contain over there. Good crackback block. Oh, he's going to get called for that. And he ends up getting to the 24-yard line, but that's going to be a crackback. That's going to be half the distance to the goal from the 16. So Afton's going to be buried back deep in their own zone, or in their own end of the field. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 8-yard line, I believe, after they mark off this penalty. You can't peel back and block. It's one of those that, as an old football coach and a football player, you kind of hate to see that call because he wasn't trying to hurt the kid. He was just trying to protect his own player, but for the safety of the kids on defense or that are covering the kick, you understand the reason for the call. But I don't know. They should have marked that from the spot of the foul, but instead they marked it from the end of the run, which is not correct. But oh, maybe they're fixing it. Okay, they're moving it back now. Good job by Dave Weber and his crew. Very good officiating crew, probably one of the best in the state. They always get picked to do one of the state championship games. So hopefully we'll have a nice, smooth game this week. Last week was a little choppy. Not much flow to that game, but this week hopefully we'll have a little bit more opportunity to gain some momentum and hold some momentum with the flow of the game. As Afton takes the snap, rolls to the left. Good pressure there, but wide open in the flat is an Afton receiver coming out of the backfield. Oh, and he breaks 2 tackles, and he's going to go 91 yards for the score. That is not what we wanted from our defense. Blown coverage there. Looked like we were in a zone. Flat was completely open. They had a good block there by an outside receiver, and then we had him with 2 guys and broke both tackles. They ended up throwing a flag on Afton's sidelines for being on the field during their celebration after they realized they were going the distance for a score. But that's a warning. Will not affect the outcome of the play. That makes it now 12-7 Afton as I would think they'll probably go for 2 since they went for 2 last time. And now they're down by 8, or now they're down by 2, so they will surely go for the tie here. So defense is going to have to step it up a little here as they've let one short field drive and now one huge play for a touchdown after they had Afton pinned deep. They come out in their wishbone formation. This is what we expected to see most of as they come out and spread. And the first play they run out of that wishbone is a little ice play up the middle, and no go as the defensive line holds strong on that play. The defensive line is going to be the strength of this defense. So if teams do try to run on us, we're pretty big, pretty strong up front. It's going to be a little more difficult for them on the ground this year probably than through the air. Our D-backs are pretty young, undersized, in a couple different positions. But they definitely got better as the game went on last week, and we're looking to take a step forward this week. Off to a slow start, but we'll get there. Looks like Spring Camper is still on the sideline on the bench with a leg propped up. Looked like it might have been an ankle, not a knee, but I don't want to speculate after I just did. All right, so Afton's going to kick off again. Guys up front need to remember that they kicked an onside kick to start the game, so they definitely have that in their arsenal. We got Skylar Ogden watching the game. What's up, Skylar? Class of 2017 graduate, I believe. Good cross-country runner. Went to William Woods to go to college and ran some cross there. As there's a little pooch kick, and that's fielded, and to a knee goes Bryant Schwint. And St. John will take over at their 35-yard line. We do want to remind everybody that in 2 weeks is our homecoming, very early this year, as it's in week 4. If you are in a graduating class from a year ending in 2 or 7, so 17, 12, 07, 02, 97, 92, etc., we do have reunion floats for you. We'll go through those contacts at halftime if you're interested in knowing who to contact to find more information out about that. But St. John getting ready to start their drive here. And Butcher to the outside on a stretch play, and he's going to get about 7 yards. And it's going to be 2nd down and 3. And come out in 2-by-2 set. And there's the motion. They fake the Reinhardt, throw it deep, and oh my gosh. And there is a tackle down the field. Tucker Reed is not going to be able to catch many balls like that. We're going to have an illegal motion before the snap. Going to have pass interference during the play. Those 2 penalties are going to offset, and that's going to be a replay of the down. It's going to be 1st and 10 or 2nd and 4, excuse me. So they're replaying the down. Caden Fly coming way to the outside. They got him one-on-one, so we'll see how they're going to try to exploit that matchup, with if it'll be this play or the next. As it'll be this play. There it goes. Aiden Boyer deep, and he is wide open. He's at the 20. He makes a move. He's at the 15. He's at the 10 as he goes to the opposite pylon. 5 and touchdown. St. John, 58 yards. Aiden Boyer to Caden Fly. You're going to be hearing that combination a lot this year. They are fun to watch. You saw Caden come way to the outside there, and he was one-on-one, and that poor young man playing defense had no chance against Caden's speed and athleticism. And that was an easy 55 or 58-yard pitch and catch for Aiden and Caden. And that is Caden Fly's 5th touchdown of the season, 4th receiving touchdown already, and we are 4.5 quarters into the season. So he is on pace to do some special things this year. He had some big shoes to fill with Zach Boyer graduating. And he is off to a very, very good start as Aiden Boyer runs a little jet sweep fake, takes it up the middle with an inside zone, and that's going to be a successful 2-point conversion as they're now going to go up by a field goal. That is 15-12, and St. John's offense is humming. St. John's defense has struggled thus far, but I look for them to pick it up here. So we had Aiden Butcher 8-yard touchdown run, Brian Schwitt PAT, Caden Fly 58-yard touchdown reception from Aiden Boyer, and then an Aiden Boyer 2-point conversion on the ground, and that gives us a 15-12 score with 6 minutes and 35 seconds left. And a special for Monk Kreitler this year, we've got the scoreboard on our feed, so you don't have to ask me how much time's in the game all the time. Excited about that. But great feature. We want to thank our support that we get from Huddle as well, our software program. They've done a really good job, not only putting the equipment in, but getting everybody up to speed, including myself, on how to use everything. And they've worked well with our technology department to make sure everything's set up properly. And our coaches, anytime they have questions or comments, as they use this same feed, they get multiple angles. They get more than what we get, but they use this for all their film scouting and everything like that. So for those of you that graduated 15, 20, 30 years ago, things have changed substantially in the world of technology and how it relates to football. And that little pooch kick, Afton lets it hit the ground, and it bounces twice. I don't think they thought they had to touch it. And that ball is recovered by St. John. I didn't see who recovered it. Did you see who recovered that? It might have been Reinhardt. It was definitely a single number. I apologize. Looks like most of the congratulations are going to Nick, so I'm going to assume that was Mason that recovered that. One of those guys, either 3, 5, or 6. I couldn't tell. These jerseys are pretty tough to read sometimes, depending on what angle you got and how bunched up they are under the pads. But St. John takes over for their third possession. 2 backs in the backfield. Fake the counter to Farlow, down the middle to Caden Fly. Caden in the seam, and he just goes up for a jump ball. Good coverage that time by Afton, but Caden, he's big, he's tall, he's fast, he's athletic. Just about any adjective you can use to positively describe an athlete, he is that. And the Afton defender that was there, Garden Caden, is down on the ground, and he's injured down at the 5-yard line, and that's where Caden landed or was tackled. He had about a 32-yard gain on that play. So Caden pushing 100 yards already with a touchdown, And we have barely started this game as there's still more than half of the first quarter left. Looks to be a high-scoring game here tonight in St. Genevieve.
I'm breathing very shallow. I'm breathing very shallow too. Breathing very shallow.
All right, so he is walking off on his own power. That's good. That's Mitchell. That's one of their best players, too. And you know, he's a really good athlete. Watched him on film this week with some of the boys, and he was really fun to watch. The quarterback wasn't real accurate last year, but, you know, had he had someone a little more seasoned throwing him the ball last year, probably would have had a much better season. He had a good season, good statistics anyway, but he's a really good player. But unable to match up with Caden Fly on that last play for sure. They got Caden lined up in the slot now as they bring Tucker Reed over with them to the trip side. So they got Meyer, Reed, and Caden, and nobody directly over Caden as they bring the safety over now. Still got the slant on the inside if they want it as they give it to Butcher. Butcher cuts. Looked like he's going to walk into the end zone, gets tackled, but leans over the line, and that's going to be a touchdown. That's going to make it 21-12. We'll see if they go for one or two here as they bring out Bryant Schwint. So we'll go for one. Schwint 7 for 7 on the season for PATs. Don't want to say it's automatic because nothing in high school football is automatic, but it's pretty close. Here's the snap, the kick, and it is good. And St. John takes a 22-12 lead with 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go here in the first quarter. They run 5. So Butcher now with 2 touchdowns on the night. Caden Fly with a touchdown. Brian Schwint 2 for 2 PATs. Aiden Boyer has a touchdown passing and a 2-point conversion running the ball. And the defense still has yet to make a stop, even though they got the little pooch kick recovery last time. So they'll get their chance here to start pulling their weight. As Schwint gets ready to kick off. And there's another little pooch kick. That time it goes to about the 34-yard line. Good coverage. 1 yard on the kick return. While we get ready for Afton's offense to take the field, some quick score updates. Already at the end of the first quarter, Potosi up on Farmington 6-0. Our conference went 5-0 last week. That's probably the first time that's ever happened since the MAFC became a thing. Central 7-0 early lead on Caruthersville. Fredericktown 8-0 over Herky. Again, those the two teams that were picked to probably finish at the bottom are winning again tonight. Perryville up 7-6 early over Windsor. Perryville coming off a rough game against Oakville. Run up the middle, and that is a stuff job there. Jacob Johns there, Landon Thompson there. Nice job by the inside of that defense. Valley's up 21-7, about halfway through the first quarter over there. Hillsboro 15-0 over Cape Central. So those are the local scores tonight. Oh, there's some more. North County 36-30. Oh, that was last night. And there's the rollout, and that is over the head of Mitchell. Nice to see him back in the game. Shaken up a little bit on defense earlier, but he's back out there and run a little flat route there out of the backfield and overthrown, as it will now be 3rd and 9 for St. John, as they've had 2 good defensive plays in a row. Even if it would have been a good throw and caught by Mitchell there, he was not going anywhere. He had 2 defenders very close, ready to break down and make the tackle on him. So good series thus far for St. John, but got to get off the field, and that takes 3 plays. So we'll see what we can do here on the 3rd. As Afton goes back to the spread formation, 2-by-2 set, and it looks like Jay Pope's going to call a timeout. Didn't like how someone was lined up. Looked like they had a zero coverage with a safety shading the right side of the field, and looked like either Coach Pope wanted that shade over number 20 or didn't want to shade at all. So they'll make that adjustment here in the huddle and go back ready to see that same formation, I'm sure. We'll see if Afton switches it up. And we'll do it again, 3rd and 9. And drop back. There's a throw, and it is, almost picked off by Schwint. Falls incomplete, and it'll be 4th down and 8, and Afton's probably going to have to punt here, I would think. Looks like they send in their punting unit as they replace 4 kids, so. And there's the punt, about 30 yards, and it's fielded fair catch. I think Nix might have forgot he made the signal, took a couple steps forward, but they didn't throw a flag on him. And St. John will take over at the 41-yard line. St. John coaching staff waits to see Afton's defensive formation. They give the signals now. And we got a 3 right formation here. Tight end on the left side is this year with Tucker Reed. He did a good job in the weight room this year. Bulked up, put on about 20 pounds, and they're going to try to use his size to their advantage with the tight end, something that they haven't done a ton of over the last probably 10 to 12 years. So see if that helps us on the line of scrimmage a little bit with our run game. Boyer to Butcher. Butcher on the counter play. Good blocking again up front. Great job. Those offensive linemen are really moving the Afton defenders. The trappers are coming through. They're getting the kick out, leading up the field. And the play side is really doing a good job down blocking, pushing those guys down, and taking the linebackers with them. We got Timmy Dunsey watching today from Panama City. Thanks for tuning in, Tim. Turtles watching in Minnesota, all over the United States, checking to see how the Dragons are doing. And there's a quick pass out to Caden Fly. Good block out there by Aiden Meyer. Looks like they're going to get him for a hold, but I think as a coach you'll take that. He had him outside of his shoulder pads possibly, but you want to see those receivers fight, and obviously you don't want to see him commit penalties. But You'd much rather see him do that than just lay down and let the defense come through. But that'll be a spot of the foul penalty. Looks like it's going to probably end up being about a 1st and 12 after they mark that penalty off. Turtle asks what's it like in St. John, and the answer to that is it's still pretty hot and humid. It's about 80 degrees, which doesn't sound terrible, but it's pretty muggy outside, and it's going to rain quite a bit the way it looks in the forecast. Hopefully we can get the game in before that happens, though. Trips to the right, and again up the middle to Butcher. He is quick, very patient, reads his blocks well, and he has got a first down right where he got tackled the last time. All right, where Caden got tackled the last time. And it's going to be a gain of 15 yards, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 again at the Afton 30-yard line. Looks like we're going to go in a 2-by-2 set here. Excuse me, they're going to have tight end left, and then Caden Mason will be flanked all the way out to the left. Jaden Reinhardt to the right as Aiden Boyer with a lead sweep to the outside, and he pushes forward. He's going to get about 17 yards on that carry. Again, 8-9 yards downfield before he ever got touched, and then drug a couple defenders for a few yards. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, and St. John looks to extend their lead. If you have any feedback on the audio as far as loudness and how it's syncing up with the video, you can put that in the comments or text me if you have my number. That's 3 yards for Farlow. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7. Anytime you deal with new equipment, you got the learning curve. So we tried to test it out today, but until you get all this fan noise and all the noise up here in the press box, you don't quite know exactly how everything's going to sound. So we know the video's good. As Boyer pitches out on the triple option, Butcher to the pylon, and he's in. Buries his shoulder, pushes forward. Touchdown, St. John, 28-12. And the route is on here in St. John with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Already 4 touchdowns. And Brian Schwentz in to kick the extra point. Audio could be louder, I'm hearing, so I'm going to turn it up a tad, and you can let me know if that's better or worse. Feel like an eye doctor, 1st or 2nd. And the PAT again from Ryan Schwinn is good, as he's now 3 for 3. Butcher with 3 touchdowns. Caden Fly with a touchdown. Aiden Boyer with a touchdown pass and a 2-point conversion on the ground. And the offensive line is imposing their will up there, getting a lot of movement up front. Afton's defensive line outmanned, and they're going to have to make some adjustments if they're going to stop this running game. But the problem with that is you bring guys into the box, you have to man up one-on-one on Caden Fly, and then you bring in a whole new set of issues. So it's going to be interesting to see how teams try to deal with that quandary this year. Ryan Mueller is watching all the way from Bloomsdale, Missouri. Not sure what language they speak up there, but way out there. Now he said the voice is too loud, so I'm going to turn it back down a little bit. And there's another reverse. They give it to Mitchell, trying to get the ball in his hands as much as they can, but good coverage. Way to stay true to the ball there by the kickoff team. And they stop him shy of the 20-yard line. And that is Justin Schwent. Good tackle there, young man. Justin's a junior. He'll get some carries in some short yardage situations this year. I'm sure he's a tough runner. All right, so Afton back to the spread formation, trips to the right. Mitchell in motion, 2-by-2 now. Quick pass over to Mitchell as they motion him across to get him free, and he gets about 7 yards on the catch. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 3 for Afton as about 4 different Dragon defensive backs merge together to bring him down. Caden Fly leading the way there for St. John. Caden Fly, a very good receiver, obviously, as we've seen tonight, but coaches are very high on his defensive ability and his length as a cornerback, and obviously his speed as well. But he's going to be a good one. He's going to get some looks to play some football in college and probably on the defensive side of the ball. Central now with a 21-0 lead over Caruthersville. Farmington takes the lead over Potosi, 14-6. Fredericktown still 8-0 over Herky. Perryville still 7-6 over Windsor. And Valley is 21-7. That game has not been updated. Same time it was earlier. So, if you have any updates on any of those games that are different from what I just told you, please feel free to put them in the comments or send them to me via text. Afton took a timeout there. It'll be 2nd and 3 when we resume. As St. John comes off the sideline. I formation now. No tight ends. There's the run. Bounces it to the outside. St. John loses contain there. Gives up about 8 yards on that carry. Bryant Schwent with the tackle. Be 1st down and 10 for Afton, as that's their 1st down of the game since the first drive. They had the first drive where they had 3 first downs. Second drive was 1 play and 92 yards, and that's the first down that they've had since those 2 drives. There's the snap back, and oh my gosh, just tries to avoid the sack and throws it right to St. Genevieve defender. That's Aiden Meyer, and he will never have an easier touchdown than what he just had. I don't know if he could have messed that up if he tried. He just kind of underhanded it into his chest and then had nobody there to tackle him and walked into the end zone from 25 yards. Looks like they're going to go for one. He didn't have the block. Bryant's out there on defense, didn't have the block, and they weren't ready to give him the block because we were on defense. So a little unexpected PAT here from the sideline, but got it taken care of. And Bryant in for the PAT, looking to go 4 for 4 in the evening, and that is up, and it is not the prettiest PAT that Bryant will ever kick, but it will count the same as the rest, as he's now 4 for 4, and St. John now leads 36-12, and it's still in the first quarter, 1 minute and 40 seconds left. And St. John is pretty much taken full control of this game since about the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. Lana Kemper is listening in. Graduating senior last year. Good to hear from you, Lana. Hope all is going well. Hope college is treating you all right. Hope you're not doing anything I wouldn't do, you know. Always good to hear from our alumni, and we hope in a couple weeks in homecoming we get to see a lot of those faces. It's always my favorite game of the year because I get to see all those kids that I haven't seen in a long time as they try a little trickery. And the ball hits the ground, and it is recovered by Affton. But Bryant came up to the ball, addressed the ball, and then stopped his motion, and then they kicked it the other way, but kicked it a little too hard, and Afton recovered at the 43-yard line. So, to all of our alumni, make your plans. Come see us in 2 weeks. Come watch your Dragons on the field. Very exciting team this year, obviously, as you can see some of the offensive fireworks that they're putting up tonight. But we'd love to see you guys and get caught up and have some conversations and see what you all are up to. So 3 to the right, and Afton a little confused. Looked like Mitchell was lined up in the wrong spot. Didn't have enough time on the play clock to get where he needed to be, so Afton's forced to burn another timeout. They're down to 1 left for the half. And we have a little break. We want to give a shout out to the volleyball team. This was their first week of action. The volleyball team had 3 really tough opponents to start the gates, come out of the gates. Our volleyball team, very experienced, almost all returning players from last year. A very good team last year, so expected obviously to be very good again this year. Started the season with a Class 5 team in Jackson. Very good team, always very competitive in state. And they won the first set and then dropped the next 3. So they lost that first game of the season against one of the better teams in Southeast Missouri. And then they came back against a really good Festus team, beat them in 5 sets, and then against a really good R7 team that has a young lady going to Arkansas to play volleyball, and they beat them in 5 sets. So good start for the volleyball program. And they have Mitchell hemmed up, and he just kept spinning away and almost spun away again. But by the time he was done spinning, he had lost about 15 yards, and I think there's going to be a procedure penalty as well against Affton, which obviously St. John will decline, as they are going to end up way in the hole here, assuming it is on Affton. Yeah, it's an illegal shift on Affton. St. John declines it, and that's going to be about a 2nd and 25, as that is a big loss. A lot of Dragons back there. A lot of people had an opportunity to make the tackle. Will Vaughn, I think, was the one who ultimately got him. Or Matt Schmidt, I believe it was. So, team effort there by the Dragon defense. And they now have Affton in a bad situation at 2nd and 25. Now they're in an even worse situation at 2nd and 30 as they take a delay of game penalty. Got trips to the left. And rolls that way and throws into triple coverage. Looked like he was there a little early on the coverage, but no flag. And that's going to make it about 3rd and 30, even if there was a flag that's not. Well, there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage as they had an illegal man downfield. They're going to decline that, bring up the 3rd and 30. Caden, you ever see a 3rd and 30 before? You're about to see one. We'll see what the playbook calls for a 3rd down and 30 yards to go. Starting with the formation, we got trips to the left. So if you ever have 3rd and 30, you want to go trips to the left, apparently. Have your running back flanked to the weak side. Split in on the right by himself. And there's the snap. And there's a throw over the middle, and that is to nobody in particular. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 30. So if you were taking notes on how to execute a 3rd and 30, you can go ahead and throw that piece of paper away because it did not work. much to the surprise of everyone here at Dragon Stadium. Fully expected and executed first down on that play, I think. So 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter, 36-12. And Afton forced to punt as St. John is going to send two receivers back. That's Nix and Schwint, and they're both standing in St. John territory. Sorry, in Afton territory, as that is looked like an intentional short snap to Mitchell. Also, if you're looking at a fake punt call from at 4th and 30, probably don't write that down either. And in fact, don't even think that's a good idea ever. But hey, you know, you never know unless you try, I guess. So St. John's going to take over at 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, going in and looking for a 6th touchdown of the first quarter if they can execute on one of these first two plays of the quarter. There's a little swing pass out to Caden Fly. Caden gets to the outside. He gets to about the 5. He's out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock. And it's going to be 1st and goal from the 5-yard line as Caden is now right at that 100-yard mark with a touchdown reception in the first quarter. St. John coming out again with no backs. Caden Meyer to the left. And there's the jet sweep to Caden Fly. Caden around to the outside. He's got one guy to beat. Good. Oh, good tackle there on the outside as Caden actually fumbled that ball out of bounds. But that was a great play. 43 shed his block, came up, wrapped Caden up. Caden was trying to fight for yards and break that last tackle and get to the pylon, but just a really good job defensively. And again, they don't have anybody on Fly. Like he's at that inside slot receiver. Here comes Mitchell now. He's coming over to take away the inside. Oh, and they fake to him, and they hit Reinhardt in the back of the end zone. That's Jaden's first catch. Good for you, young man. That's his first touchdown of the season. And good play design there as they sent Caden out on a little flat route, gave him a little pump fake, and Jaden just snuck in behind him into the middle of the field, and nobody had their eyes on Jaden Reinhardt. So Aiden Boyer gets his second touchdown pass of the game, and with 23 seconds left, St. John looking to go up 43-12 here with a Bryant Schwint PAT conversion. There's the snap, hold, good, and kick, good. And Bryant Schwint now 5 for 5. And we are still in the first quarter. This is the quarter that does not end. But when you score 6 touchdowns and give up 2, that's a lot of stoppages, a lot of change of possession. A lot of time for the band to play, though. Band's getting some good practice, playing a lot of Go Big Green. A lot of St. John will shine. Cheerleaders are getting their workout in. Hopefully we don't have anybody doing the celebratory push-ups for every point scored. Otherwise, they're going to be pretty exhausted by the time this game's over. And Schwint with the kickoff. That goes down to about the 6-yard line. This time they're going to let him take it. Mitchell looks to be limping a little bit. And good return to the 25-yard line. And they'll take over at the 25-yard line. There's Carter Burr on the tackle on that kickoff. Ronnie Willenbrink with the return. And Afton will take over. There looks like they're going to go under center here. Tight end to the right, so this is a different formation than we've seen so far. Bunched. 2 receivers bunched over here to the right side. And little play action. Oh, no, they did hand it to him. That's Mitchell. And he's going to get about 1 yard. Good pursuit there by St. John as looked like Jacob Johns tripped him up from the back. And that's going to bring an end, mercifully, to the first quarter, at least mercifully for Afton, as St. John's up by 31 points heading into the second quarter. Just looking ahead at the schedule, we have not talked with Orchard Farm yet about the ability to broadcast. I've never been up there, so I have no idea what kind of capabilities they have, what kind of internet availability they have. So if we can bring it to you, we will. I will tell you we will have the Windsor volleyball game. Again, another really good game, volleyball game to start the season. If you have a chance to come watch volleyball, we stream them live. We have the great camera in the gym now, but there's nothing like watching a volleyball game live. The speed that the girls play at and the way the ball moves around. When you have 2 good volleyball teams, man, it's fun to watch. But after that Orchard Farm game, we've got Fredericktown back here. That's the homecoming game that we talked about earlier. Then the meat of the schedule, week 5, we go to Park Hills. Then Potosi comes here in week 6, and then Valley hosts us over on the other side of town in week 7. And then we end the season with Jefferson, who's down quite a bit this year, and Kelly, who is still a struggling program, not been around for a real long time with the football program. So definitely those 3 weeks in the middle, actually if you take Fredericktown as well, weeks 4, 5, 6, and 7, our conference schedule, those are going to be the toughest games now that Festus is behind us anyway. So we'll see how that all shakes out as Orchard Farm runs the ball. Looks like they get about 1 yard. Actually, they'll say he stopped at the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Has good defense, again, by the defensive line. We're going to be tough to run on this year. Those guys are big up front. Will Vaughn is an absolute stud. He's the one that got credited with that tackle there. Really good player last year. Just a ton of determination from that young man. He's got a motor. He doesn't quit. Landon Thompson, really big body, really strong kid. Matt Schmidt, a senior, has worked his way into that starting lineup and really deserves to be there because of the effort he puts forward on a daily basis. The coaches are really high on him. There's Mitchell in motion. Throw a flag. Another pre-snap penalty by Affton. They called it delay of game. Thought they got it off, but I guess they didn't. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 15. So a little nervous at the start of the game with the way it started defensively, but St. John has settled in. Again, you don't want to make excuses for the kids, but they didn't have school today. Routine gets thrown off. Everything is kind of out of whack, and took a while for them to figure it out, but it looks like they're coming into their own now. And Afton hands off, tries to cut back, but, oh, my gosh, the whole team's in on that tackle. Nice job by the green team there to pursue and nowhere to go. He gets about 2 yards on a 3rd and 15, and Afton's going to have to line up and punt again. I think at this point St. John can probably pick their number as far as where this game ends up. I'm sure Coach Pope's going to get all the kids in the game, take it as easy as he can on the scoreboard. But at the same time, you also want your kids to get some reps and be able to, get to mesh with each other, especially those guys on the line that have to play together all the time. You need to know what the guy next to you is going to be doing. Get away, guys. That punt's down at the 48-yard line. That's about a 30-yard kick, and St. John will take over again in Afton territory. One thing I will never understand after coaching football for several years, broadcasting it for a lot of years, being a fan of it for a lot of years, when you watch high school football game, it never fails. Those kids, there's always one or two of them that are always around those rolling punts. And it doesn't matter how many times you tell them, how many times you go over the rules. They just can't stand not being close to the ball. And it always gives coaches near heart attacks because they think they're going to touch it and give away a possession. But anyway, Boyer with the fake to fly, and he throws deep to Tucker Reed, and that ball thrown to the inside of Tucker as Tucker was running a seam route, falls incomplete. This is probably one of those situations where if Afton doesn't score, this may be your last possession where you can really throw the ball. So might be an opportunity for them to get some guys involved in the passing game that they haven't been able to get involved yet. And there's the run to Butcher. Butcher breaks it to the 40. He's at the 35-30. Cuts it back to 25-20. Good cut. Tackled at the 15-yard line. What a run by Butcher. He is just so patient, reads his blocks well. And those guys up front, you just can't say enough about them. They are doing an amazing job up there. Jordan Jacob, Thomas Piku, Nathan Johnson, Schweige, Anthony Bader, all up there just moving bodies up there, doing what they're paid to do. Oh, and Hayden Boyer just walks in, fakes that inside run, takes it to the outside, had the pitch man if he wanted him, but didn't need him. Decided to take it in himself and just walked in the last 8 yards. So Aiden now with a rushing touchdown, passing touchdown, a rushing 2-point conversion. And St. John takes a 49-12 lead, and Bryant Schwint looks to put a 50 spot on the board with 9.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Hey, how about you guys? You guys want to see this game? Oh, my gosh. Caden, you got to tell me that. Sorry about that. And Brian Schwint with the kick. It's good. I'm sorry. Cameron LaRose, I appreciate you letting me know. Aiden is not going to be happy. Missed his 15-yard touchdown run. I'll hear about that first hour on Monday, I'm sure, or Tuesday. Maybe he'll forget because of the holiday. I do want to give a shout out to my first hour broadcasting kids. They do a good job. It takes a lot of work to get these broadcasts up and running. Typically, I'll have one of them with me, but most of them are football players, so it's hard for me to get help up here. So on game night, I'm on my own, but they do all the work leading into the game. So all I have to do is just show up and make sure nothing's covering up the camera feed, but I failed at that too. So Bryant with the kick. And it's rolling around, and they just are not wanting to get on the ball. And he brings it up to the 10. And again, Afton's going to start in terrible field position. I didn't know what was going to happen there after the first couple possessions. I was really surprised, but things have kind of settled into where I thought they would be at this point of the game. As St. John with a 50-12 lead with 9:24. A little note on the running clock: it does not run until the second half. So even if it is a 35-point margin, the clock will still stop on dead ball, out of bounds, or incomplete passes and so forth. Good pass there to Mitchell, but dropped. It's a tough completion there for a quarterback, but he made the throw, did not make the catch, however. And it will be 2nd and 10. Man, you guys are brutal. I'm sorry. Had the schedule up. made a mistake. It's a 35-point game. Be nice. And there's the snap. And, oh, right through the hands. I didn't see who that was. Aiden Meyer, maybe? Saw a 2. Second number is 2. We got the Purge playing. Nice job here by Doc Smith's class. Third down, we get the Purge sirens going. We got atmosphere in the house. We had a awesome intro video to lead the game. It's like watching a game up at Faroe Field. And St. John again with the gang tackling. Nowhere to go for Afton as they continue to move the wrong direction. And they are again going to have to punt as it's 4th down and 13. We'll get those scores updated for you from around the area. And here's the punt. Oh, bad snap, low. Maybe that wasn't a fake punt a while ago. Maybe it was just a terrible snap. Oh, Brian Schwitt muffs it, falls on it at the 43. And the scores we have as of right now, about halfway through the second quarter, we got Potosi trailing Farmington 14-6. Sullivan beat DeSoto last night. Several teams played on Thursday because Misha had a ref shortage. So they asked to play on the holiday weekend a day early. Aiden Boyer passes out to Tucker Reed, his first catch of the season, and Tucker spins off a couple tackles, gets 12 yards. Nice job, Tuck. Also one of my broadcasting kids. Luckily, we got that on camera, so don't have to listen to him complain. Not that Tucker would ever complain about anything. Fredericktown 8-0 over Herky. Perryville 7-6 over Windsor still. Valley Catholic is 21-7 at half. It's an interesting score there. They're playing Festus. Festus is without their second best player who was hurt last week early in our game, second quarter of our game. So Festus putting up a fight against Valley after Valley's win over Seckman last week. And there's a little counterplay to Hayden Butcher, and he is fast and elusive, and you just can't watch a play like that and not give credit to the offensive linemen. They're doing such a good job in this game, picking up their assignments, getting a hat on a hat, driving their legs, moving guys off the ball. Exactly what you want to see as a coach with your offensive line play. They are really doing excellent. And I'll tell you what, Coach Pope, he picks a hog of the week each week, the best lineman of the week, and he's going to have a hard time picking just one because every one of them as a group, as a unit, is doing an amazing job here tonight. And there's the PAT again, is good by Bryant Schwint. Now 7 for 7 and 13 for 13 on the season. Hayden Butcher that was a 38-yard run. So Caden can start adding up some stats here. We may have seen the end of the first teamers with 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the second quarter. 45-point spread. We'll see. They might get him one more possession. I'll tell you what, it's fun to watch these games, especially early in these games, when you get to see basically our kids doing things at will, moving the ball wherever they want to move the ball. But as these games get to this point, halfway through the second quarter and into the second half, it becomes kind of painful. You almost feel feel some sympathy. But I'm sure Coach Pope will take it easy, and that kick goes out of bounds. He touched it. I can't believe he touched it and even took a chance of that being down at the 8-yard line, but they did throw the flag, so they'll take over at the 35. And already got some mixing in of kids out there on defense. Seeing some new numbers out there that haven't been out there. So I'm sure the coaching staff will stay busy here over the next 2.5 quarters trying to shuffle people in, get them some experience, but at the same time getting those first-team guys off the field and preventing injury, but also showing a little mercy here to Afton. Afton comes out, trips to the right. Running back flank to his right, and good cut there by the Afton running back. That run there by number 10, Pyatt. And that's going to be good for about 7 yards, as it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 3. And that's going to be good for a 1st down for Afton right at midfield. Butcher, unofficially, we got him for, looks like 8 carries, 140 yards. That's almost exactly what he had last week. 3 touchdowns this week, had a couple last week. So great start to the season for him, as he's close to 300 yards and 5 touchdowns already on the season. Caden Fly has 5 touchdowns. He's at about 300 yards. So very balanced attack, rushing and receiving for the Dragons so far to start the 2022 season. Carry for 1 yard there by Pyatt. 2nd and 9 for Afton, as maybe we'll bleed a little bit of clock here. Clock's been stopped so much because of all the change of possessions because of the scoring. So not a lot of time has run off. It's 8:13. This stream is scheduled to end at 8:45. So somebody, if you have the password to Huddle, if you could extend that stream, that would be fantastic. Sorry, 9:45. We're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. We'll have the running clock in the second half. That pass is incomplete. Receiver sandwich there between Justin Schwint and Mason Nix. Good coverage on the play by those 2 juniors. We got Nancy Toombs listening in. Nancy's one of our great tech department. She's the head of that tech department, and they are there to support us and help us all the time. And we appreciate them. And that's caught, but for no gain. That's going to bring up 4th and 9. Dr. Jeremy O'Brien listening in. He can watch from home now as his son has graduated and down in Springfield, Missouri, enjoying the college life, I'm sure. And Thomas, if you're listening, we miss you, buddy. Hope you're doing well down there. As we got a rollout here, and nice pass and catch there. Good looking play there for Afton, as Ronnie Willenbrink was the receiver there, and Muiko really put a perfect ball on him, and he went up and got it and converted that for about 18 yards. And looks like we got a water break. Do we really need a water break? I feel like we've been on the sidelines half the game because we're switching offense to defense, the kickoff team. But Misha rules are Misha rules, and we follow the rules around here. It's what we do. Unless you're Jeremy O'Brien, he's more of a rule breaker. It's going to be tough to fill the second half, Caden. You're going to have to get somebody up here to talk, or you're going to have to start talking because it's tough to talk in a 45-point game. Out of the gun. There's the snap. Roll to the right. Looking deep down the sideline. Ooh, a little back shoulder play. Good job by the receiver to come back. That's Willenbrink again, and just a missed tackle over there. Had good coverage until receiver broke back with the back shoulder throw and then just missed the tackle. Looks like Devin Fly over there. That's Caden's younger brother. Really good athlete. And he's going to have to step in and fill some of those shoes left by his brother next year when Caden graduates. So 57-18, back into the swinging gate formation. Looks like they're going to go ahead and snap it again. And they snap it over here to the left. And did he give the signal? Is he in? It's in. So instead of snapping between the legs, he gives a little spiraled whip snap over to the running back that's lined up behind the 5 offensive linemen over on the opposite hash. And he barrels his way into the end zone. Good old swinging gate. It's like we're back in 1972. Wishbone offense and swinging gate for the PATs. Some things better left in the past, if you ask my opinion. But, you know, everybody has a right to do whatever they want, I guess. Good for St. John to see that kind of stuff. So if they do see it later down the road against a tougher opponent, they kind of have a little bit of familiarity with it anyway. So 57-20 is the score. 5 minutes to go here in the first half, and that will probably make sure that we see our starters for at least one more possession. And here comes the kick, and this time they'll kick it deep, and that's going to bounce into and through the end zone. Touchback. As St. John will take over at the 20-yard line. How about a nice, long 5-minute clock-chewing drive here to end the first half? That would be nice. All right, so Afton is going with a 7-man defensive front, and there is a pump and go on the outside, and that is to Tucker Reed, and that's on a dime, and Tucker's going to cut up to the 40, to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, and he's brought down about the 18-yard line. 62-yard completion from Aiden Boyer to Tucker Reed. That's Tucker's second catch of the game. So much for that 5-minute drive. I guess we'll settle for the 62-yard completion out the gate. Nice passing catch. Afton decided they were going to come with a 6-man, 7-man defensive line. They had 6 guys up there and walked the 7th. 1 linebacker in the middle, and then they were just straight man coverage on the outside. Tucker gave a little pump and go and scored a touchdown. There we got Farlow going to the outside, and he goes in untouched. And again, huge hole. No one near Farlow there as he scores that touchdown. And it's 63-20. Bryant Schwint in the game, looking to go 8 for 8 in PATs. And Bryant's on pace to maybe break some records this year, as this is now his 14th, will be his 14th extra point if he converts here in just 6 quarters. And it is true, 64-20. We also have girls golf and cross country. Cross country getting ready to kick off on tomorrow, actually. And girls golf has had 1 match so far, and I think they've had a couple canceled. They're having some issues out at Crown Point, which is where they have a lot of their competitions in the fall. They're having some issues with their greens out there. They got some fungus issues. They had to shut down the course, so hopefully they get their problems resolved out there, as that's a nice course. But in the meantime, I think they're looking to move some of their stuff here to our course, and obviously our course already hosts some stuff later in the season. But we want to wish our girls well. They got a lot of returning golfers, huge numbers in the golf programs, both guys and girls. Coaches, Coach Mueller, Coach McDaniel, do a great job with those 2 programs, the girls and the guys programs. And there's the kick return to about the 32-yard line. So Afton will take over there with 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go. Question is, what is the highest score in St. John football history? The answer to that is, I don't know, Skylar. I remember 72. Actually, I think we gave up 72 to New Madrid. That was the year they had a couple D1 guys. They had Coney Ely on that team, I know for sure. And one other guy that played in the league. Can't remember which one it was, but they beat us 72-52 in the playoffs in 2008, I believe it was. And they were really, really, really good. We were pretty good that year too, but they had some unbelievable athletes. I know we scored 69 on Potosi one year. And there's the handoff up the middle. And no gain there for Afton. Those were back in the days when we were the only ones really around here that ran the spread. Everybody else was trying to catch up and figure out how to stop the spread. In the meantime, we were just running wide open all over the field every week against everybody we played. But then we ran into a buzzsaw in New Madrid that year. But could we get a record today? Absolutely. Will Coach Pope let us get a record today? Probably not. And there's the pass to the outside. And good tackle there. The only thing that will let us get a huge number tonight, at least huge in respect to what we already have, would be if Afton continues to score. And I see our defense really buckling down here and not allowing that to happen. So I think in the second half you're not going to see any balls thrown in the air, and you're probably not going to see any of our starters that have played the majority of minutes up to this point in the game. So I think there's a possibility that 64 may end up being the last number that you'll see on the scoreboard tonight under the St. John name if our defense holds Afton. And there's the rollout and pass in the middle. Well, one thing that would change that, though, would be a pick six. Jacob Johns right there through his hands, had an opportunity for the interception, but unable to come up with it, and that'll bring up a fourth down. Afton will punt it away. There's the snap. Good snap this time. Good kick. About 35 yards in the air. Bryant's got it, and ooh, good tackle there. Had a lot of room, but nice tackle there by Affton. It was number 22, Andrew Shear, with the tackle. And looks like still do have the starting lineman out there. Aiden's going to go out for one more series. Caden Fly's going out one more series, so looks like they're going to give him one more. Got Reed and Meyer at receiver. Fly in the slot. Butcher and Reinhardt, two backs in the backfield. And again, stacking the box here with a 5-2 look against this spread. And why they're not shaded to Caden's side with that safety, I have no idea, but they aren't. And Aiden just throws it away there as he was under pressure. Sometimes you see how people try to defend other teams, and you just kind of scratch your head. You want to put your best guys over their best guys is generally the strategy. Or put more guys over their best guys. And here's a run by Farlow. He's going to get about 15 yards. That's going to be a first down. That'll stop the clock momentarily. Under 2 minutes. And again, not touched. Jacob Johns getting the carry. He's going to take it 33 yards. And this has been a long first half for Afton. That's a 70 spot on the board here in the first half. It was 35 yards. 35. Jacob Johns. Receiving. So the halftime numbers, Caden Fly. I didn't see that. Did they miss the PAT? Did not go for the PAT. Sorry, we were figuring up stats up here. I didn't see what happened, but you guys, I'm sure, did. 112 yards on 4 catches for Caden Fly. He has a touchdown. With that, Tucker Reed has 2 catches for 64 yards. Reinhardt, 1 catch, touchdown for 5 yards. Aiden Boyer, 4 carries for, looks like about 60 yards. And 7 for 13 with 2 touchdowns through the air and a 2-point conversion rushing. So lots of stats. And that ball again is kicked out of bounds. And they'll give him the ball at the 35-yard line. 1 minute and 46 seconds to go. Skyler rubbing it in because I say we get stuck on 64, but they gave him one more possession. So give Jacob's the heart and soul of our defense and doesn't get much time on offense. He's a senior leader and has been a great 4-year player for this program. So I'm sure Jay Pope saw an opportunity to get him, throw him a bone and give him a little bit of a reward for all the hard work he does and all the heart he shows on defense. Great teammate. Also a great member of our broadcasting crew. So Afton doesn't have their full roster on the field. Get penalized 5 yards because of it. And there's the running play to the left and stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Is Pyatt. And I think Affton hopefully will just eat this clock here and get it to halftime. And again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Good job there by the defensive front. And looks like we got an injury or a cramp situation out there. And that looks like Pyatt. I think it looks like the way he's holding it and flexing it, looks like it might be just a cramp. Again, Tyler Brown out there working on it. I was at a church function this weekend with my son, my other son, and fell awkwardly. They were playing a game and fell awkwardly on his arm. And Tyler Brown's everywhere at the football games, at the volleyball games, and he was also there and looked at my son's arm. Thought he had a broken arm, so we went to get an X-ray. Turned out to be just ligaments, but I'm always grateful, always as a teacher and as a coach, but this time as a parent, to have Tyler around. He is always so good with our kids and so knowledgeable with what he does, and we appreciate the time and the work he puts in. He never misses a game, and we're lucky to have him here at St. John. So Afton takes over, 3rd and 17, 51 seconds. Looking to get to the end of the quarter. Clock is running. They need to complete this to keep it running. And the ball is throwing short. They're going to have to punt it. Hopefully they can get a good snap. We will show you the marching formation at halftime of the band. We cannot show you the music because that is copyrighted. I shouldn't say show you the music. We cannot allow you to listen to the music. Otherwise, we'll get our YouTube stream taken down. But our band does do some amazing things. Katie Ani is the drum major this year. John Mooney, band director. Joe Hall works with the percussionists. A lot of really cool things they got going on with the band, and they've got some competitions coming up this fall too, as we'll talk about as the season goes on and they get a little closer, as that punt is up and bounces and rolls dead with 26 seconds left. My guess is Coach Pope will come out and take a knee here. At least I hope. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go under center. Foot to foot there on the line. And there's the knee. Clock runs. And we are going to halftime with a score of 70 for your St. John Dragons and 20 for Afton. 50-point spread. I believe we have our new assistant principal, Dustin Schnabel, is coming up here at halftime. Get to meet him and tell you a little bit about him. He brings a lot of energy to the fold. Made some good first impressions, I know for sure, with our kids, and that's what matters. Very well liked so far, well respected, and we look forward to talking to him.
Schnabel said he's not going to make it up here.
Oh, he's not?
No. He said he's patrolling.
He's patrolling. He's too busy. Never mind. Mr. Schnabel's not going to come up here. Got a situation down there somewhere, something in the parking lot. So, anyway, we will take a break at half. We'll come back and give you a recap of all the stats and the updates on all the local scores. In the meantime, we'll let you watch the band. Sorry we can't let you listen to the band, but enjoy the marching formations. Thank you. That's where you're supposed to be, right there. I don't know where you go from there, what you do, but this is where you were last week. All right, we are off, and there's the kickoff. Afton gets it, fakes the reverse, and they come up the right side, and they have a lot of room to run there. 43-yard line is where they end up. And that was a good return there by Shear. Not very good coverage there on the left side of the kickoff team. Yeah, last week they were hooked up there. I think they were hooked up to there somewhere. No? All right, so 1st and 10, first play of the second half as the clock will run here as long as St. John maintains a 35-point advantage or more. And there's the play action fake. Shear with the catch, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. Good pitch and catch there, gain of about 14 yards for Afton to start the second half. As we see a lot of new faces out there on the field right now. We'll try to give you some of these names and numbers as we go through. Looks like we got Corbett at safety on this side. Isaiah Balzer playing corner over here, number 20. There's the snap. Run, good tackle. Nice job there on the defensive line. That's Aiden White with the BTL. Wyatt Kemper also in on that play. These jerseys look sharp, but boy, they are tough to distinguish numbers sometimes. Poor guy. Shout out to Sauce Gag, who was supposed to help me broadcast tonight and let me hanging. Good throw, good ball, and incomplete, broken up over there. Who's that cornerback? That side. Hayden Ford. Hayden Ford. We got a lot of names that rhyme with Aiden. Aiden and Caden and Hayden, Jaden. That's 4 for sure. And then we got about 5 Aidens, I think. So we got a whole bunch of people that sound alike, at least with their first name. And that's Coach Roth dropping stuff behind us. And the pass is incomplete. That brings up a 4th down. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Clock runs. And we'll see if they decide to punt here or go for it as they are inside St. John territory. Afton runs on a player at the last minute. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Long snap, good snap. And there's the punt. And St. John, nobody back, looking for the fake. And that's going to roll dead. Ooh, it does just barely make it to the end zone. Looked like it was going to make a left turn there. Cardinals were winning 2-0 at last look. High school scores. St. John takes over. Looks like we got a mixture of second and third string guys out there right now. Handoff on the counter play. Nice little run. Good hole. Opened by those new linemen. And that's Isaiah Balzer with the run there. Nice job, Isaiah. Farmington's up 21-12 over Potosi. Central 30-13 over Caruthersville. Fredericktown 14-6 over Herky. Windsor 14-7. Ooh, big hole. Big hole there for Hayden Ford. He gets about 20 yards on that carry. Valley Catholic 42-7 as they start to open up the lead over Festus across town. Actually, that game's up in Festus. And Hillsboro's up 35-0 over Cape Central. So those are the scores as of right now. And there's the carry into the teeth of the Afton defensive line. Nowhere to go for Isaiah Balsler as he gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. And that'll bring up a second down and 10. Another run up the middle, and there's a flag late. Looks like they're going to get a personal foul over there on Chris Castrena. Looks like got that penalty and got immediately taken out of the game as he did something behind the play. I think, unless they called it offsetting. They're discussing it now. Face mask on Afton. And then the dead ball personal foul is going to be on St. John. So that'll be offsetting penalties. And I don't know. They're moving the ball. I don't know. I don't understand the enforcement of that penalty, but either way, it's 70-20. There's 5 minutes and 50 seconds to play. It's going to be first down and 10 in Afton territory. Now the refs are discussing why the ball was moved. Explaining it to the Afton coach, who also does not understand. I guess it was a dead ball. Okay. That would make sense. So the face mask was a live ball penalty. Either way, it should be the same yardage. I don't think this is correct. Okay, we're going to go with it. First down. This crew's done a pretty good job up to this point, so we'll assume they got it right. And there's the carry by Hayden Ford. This time he's pulled down behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up a second down and 13 as the clock continues to wind. Mizzou got a big win last night. They looked pretty good, I thought, in that game. Luther Burden, the kid from St. Louis, had a couple big catches, a couple runs out of Wildcat as Hayden Ford gets another carry. Oh, no, that's Isaiah Balsler again. Gets carry up the middle. Again, we got a little extracurricular activity going on up front. Boys need to keep their heads. But Brady Cook, the CBC product, he looked good at quarterback. Gave up a couple big plays on defense, but run defense looked pretty solid. So encouraging first game for Mizzou, and they'll have Kansas State next weekend. So our conference this year consists of Park Hill Central, St. Genevieve, Valley Catholic, Potosi, Fredericktown. Those teams went 5-0 collectively last week. This week it looks like Potosi might fall to Farmington. Other than that, the other 4 teams look like they're going to be victorious again. So that'll bring the collective record to 9-1 with the only loss to a Class 4 Farmington team. Should be a pretty competitive conference this year, especially at the top with Valley, St. Gen, and Park Hills. Those 3 teams are all very talented on the perimeter. All have some experienced linemen coming back. So it'll be interesting to see how those games shape up in week 5, 6, and 7. We play Park Hills in week 5, Valley in week 7, and then in week 6, Valley and Park Hills play one another. So the conference and probably the standings of district will be determined in that 3-week time span as those teams play each other. Our district is actually the same 5 teams as our conference, and then we add in from the Boot Heel, Dexter, and Kennett. Kennett, again, really good. They did lose a couple really key players from their good squad last year. As there's a fumble on the play, looks like we got it back, I think. Nope, we did not. As Hayden Ford with the fumble, and that's recovered by Afton with 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go. But anyway, Kennett should be pretty good again this year. So district-wise, you've got St. John Valley, Park Hills, and Kennett in that 1, 2, 3, and 4 position, or at least favored to be in those positions. So that'll be an interesting semifinal week, second week of district. You're going to have 2 really good games if things play out the way everyone expects. And then obviously that will lead into a tremendous district championship game. St. Mary's, last year's District 1 winner, they have been bumped up to Class 4 because of the rule, the success rule for the private schools. So they are now Class 4. They will not be in the mix for the Class 3 championship, obviously, which opens the gate for some other team. And I think if you look at the way things played out last year, District 1 and District 2 have probably had some of the best talent in the state. So without St. Mary's there, we'll see how everything shakes out this year. There's the jet sweep to Mitchell. Mitchell breaks the tackle and then is wrapped up. Good job by Charlie Corbett, who he pursued initially, had his tackle broken, stayed with it, turned back in by Isaiah Balsler, and then Corbett cleaned it up. There's the drop back pass, and that's too long. Intended for Shear over there on the far sideline, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and 4 for Afton as the purge plays again. Oh, and there's a sack on the play by Aiden White. I didn't see what happened. Justin Roth was yanking a cord out from under my feet. I thought somebody was playing with my toes down there, so I looked away for a minute. So all I know is they lost yards. It's easy to get sidetracked when it's a 50-point spread. So now it's 4th down. Had the down wrong a while ago because of the penalty. And there's a snap over his head. He picks it up, and he's going to run. He needs to punt it. Nope, he's not going to. He's going to lose 6 yards. Probably had enough space to punt it, but when you're running like that, that's a pretty difficult play. So decided not to do anything crazy. There's the handoff up the middle, and he's going to get a first down, it looks like, right past the marker. It's freshman Luke Ferrano is the quarterback right now, as he's done nothing but hand the ball off so far. We'll see if they give him an opportunity to run the ball or possibly throw it. I doubt they'll throw it, but you never know. You get the young kids in the game, you want to at least give them a taste of realistic game action as they hand off to the outside, and Justin Schwint gets pulled down from behind there as he tries to sweep around to the right side. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter, as that was a quick-moving quarter thanks to the running clock. And we have a score of 70-20, so no points added to either side on that in that half. And we will switch sides of the field, and we will try to finish this game out in the next 12 minutes. Cardinals currently 2-0. They had a 2-run RBI single by Tyler O'Neill in the first inning, scoring Donovan and Goldschmidt. No scoring in the last 5 innings. So if you're watching this game, you're not missing much over there. Not very eventful baseball game. We got the mighty Illini losing. That's always good to see. So Luke Ferrano's a freshman. He's second on the depth chart. If there were an injury that could change, they like to bring these young guys along relatively slowly. Next year he'll have an opportunity to fight for that starting job, though there's no doubt, as Aiden's going to be graduating. So any experience you can get in games like these helps, even if it's just, taking snaps and handing the ball off, working on some footwork, having the experience of calling the plays in the huddle. Maybe have your number called in the running game every once in a while. Know what it's like to take a hit in a varsity game on Friday night. It's something you want to get out of your system early, so you know you can do it and you know you're going to bounce back up. So these are valuable minutes for these guys. There's no doubt about that. So second down and 5. And there's another whistle. Well, the thing about this is that clock will run continuously even when there's situations like this. I say that, now it's stopped. I don't know why it stopped. All right, so it's going to be 2 yards to go here for a first down, and that ball, ooh, that was dangerous. Caden, what do you think about tonight's game?
Great.
Just a recap of the stats, we had 140 yards for Butcher with 3 touchdowns, all that coming in the first 18 minutes of the game. Caden Fly had 4 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown. Aiden Boyer had a touchdown on the ground and through the air. Bryant Schwint, 8 for 8 for extra points tonight. Jaden Reinhardt caught a touchdown pass. Ferrana with a chance to throw, airs it out. Good ball. Oh, and through the hands. That was just about as good of a throw as you can make. Nice job by the freshman, and just unable to haul it in down there, but it's good to see him do that. And also, not going to lie, I'm not terribly upset that he dropped it being up by 50 points, but it's good to see that these kids can execute and run these plays that are being called from the sidelines and know what they're supposed to do and can execute in a way that looks pretty good, because that was about as good of a throw as you can make. There's the little trap play, and he breaks a tackle, and he gets inside the 5-yard line. That's Hayden Ford with the run. 26 yards on that run. They've had a lot of success tonight with that counter tray play. Now the crowd is getting bored. They're starting to do the Ric Flair Nature Boy sound. That's when you know it's time to go home. And there's a snap. Again with the trap play. Isaiah Balzer's going to take it in for the touchdown, and that's going to make it 76-20. And looks like they're going to put the looks like they're going to go for 2 here. And they're going to go for PAT. Let's see who we got kicking here. Kick is up and no good. And that was Ethan Ottens. I do not have Ethan. Ethan's a freshman, I think. I have most of the kids in the high school at some point their freshman year, but I do not have him in the classroom. Farmington 35-18, halfway through the 4th quarter. Central 44-13, 10 minutes left. That's an early second half score from Caruthersville. 14-14 now. Herculaneum's tied Fredericktown. Perryville's down 22-7 after leading that game early. Valley Catholic is up 48-20 over Festus. That game's actually gone final already. And Hillsborough 47-7 over Cape Central. There's the kickoff by Schwint. And looks like they're going to run the reverse there. Worked well the first 2 times, and actually it's working well now. They had it defended, they had him hemmed in, but found a hole there, did Mitchell, and he's out to the 45-yard line. Mitchell's a good player as it is, but now he's running against the 3rd-teamer, so he's looking really quick now. It was actually Butcher made that stop, so he was still out there on the kickoff team. There's the snap, the handoff, and that's Pyatt. He's pulled down for 3 yards. As they still have their first teamers in there, and I don't blame them. They're trying to get some reps and get these guys better. They have a long way to go this season. So the more reps that they can get, the better that they're going to be. So 2-by-2 formation here for Afton. Moiko back to throw and hits his receiver, who fights forward for a first down. That's to Shear again. Shear, Pyatt, and Mitchell have definitely done the lion's share of their ball carrying here tonight. Those three have pretty much touched the ball on every possession or every play. There, Boyko pulls it. Looks like he's going to run it, and that's going to be a flag. Had him open, underthrew him by quite a bit. Receiver had to stop, and the cornerback trying to make up that ground and just ran over the receiver who was coming back for the ball.
What's wrong, buddy?
Did you see what just happened there with the sequence? Not exactly sure what was called there. It is just the pass interference call. I thought there was a second penalty that he signaled, but just the one. There's the pass to the end zone on the corner route. Nice pass. And that is really close to being a touchdown, and they're going to go ahead and give it to him. I thought he had crossed it. Get one more look at the swinging gate here. So far, we've seen him snap it back to the quarterback directly behind the center. We also seen him swing it over to the side, and here they get it to the quarterback. And these guys, these are mostly JV guys out there, and I can guarantee you that they've never seen nor prepared for the swinging gate. So Afton easily runs it into the end zone for the 2-point conversion, and that's going to bring the score to 76-28. And with the touchdown, we got the water break and, again, the stoppage of the clock. The clock only stops for timeouts or official conferences. So with 6 minutes left, this will be the last water break of the game. So assuming nobody scores anymore, this will be the last stoppage of the clock. So with that being said, in 6 minutes and 41 seconds, as soon as they kick this ball off, we should be packing up, heading home. There's the onside kick, and it's scooped up, I think. Oh, and Afton got it. Coach Pope is not going to like this. You put your young guys in, try to show a little mercy, and then they're onside kicking and running swinging gate, throwing bombs, but gives the young kids a chance to get better. Got to look at it that way. Oh, they went ahead and gave it to St. John. Even though Afton came out of the pile with it, I guess they said he wrestled the ball away from the St. John player while he was on the ground. So the clock winds, 70-28 is the score. Under 6 minutes now in the game. And there's the fake handoff. Ferrano breaks it up the middle. He cuts to the outside. He's at the 30, the 27 before he's driven out of bounds. Nice big hole again there by St. Genevieve's offensive linemen. Now with their second and third group out there, still moving bodies. So 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. And there's the run up the middle. Still breaking tackles, still running inside the 15-yard line to the 14. And that's going to be another 1st and 10 for St. Genevieve. That was Justin Schwint on that carry. And he's going to go to the pylon. Justin Schwint's going to... They're going to call him out of bounds. It looks like the 1 or the 2-yard line over there. Looked like he was going to get the pylon, but they said he stepped out of bounds before he reached. So that's going to be 3 minutes and about 20 seconds before they take the next snap. There's the run play up the middle, and Schwint pushes the pile, and they're going to hold him. Good toughness there shown by Affton. In a blowout game like this, you just want to see how hard your kids compete. And Affton showing a little toughness there on that 1st down run. Here's the 2nd down run from the 3-yard line, and with the trap play, that play has been there all night long. and Affton just has not been able to stop it. I don't know how many times they've run that play and haven't been touched until well down the field. Kansas Jayhawks are winning 42-3 over an opponent, Tennessee Tech, which you may say, well, Tennessee Tech is Tennessee Tech, but Kansas the last few years has lost to some not very good Division FCS or Division II teams early in the season. So, hey, at least they're beating Tennessee Tech. Not often we could say good things about the University of Kansas. So, you know, when they beat an FCS school, we're going to give them props. Congratulations to the Jayhawks. So that PAT was good. Ethan Ottens with his first varsity point as he converts on the PAT. He's now 1 for 2 on the night. And St. John will kick this ball away. I'm pretty sure the clock's supposed to be running on scores, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm getting tired, folks. Hard to stay enthusiastic in this kind of game. 83-28. And Schwinn with the kick. And it's muffed at the 10-yard line and now taken backwards to the 7 and hit at the 9. That was the train wreck. All right, minute 48 seconds left. Running clock. Pistol formation. Here's the snap. Looks to throw. Throws little stop route to the slot receiver. That's sheer. About 4 yards. Back up to the line of scrimmage. Afton's moving faster now than they've moved all game to get a playoff. Looking like they got some little extra energy here as he throws deep. Oh my gosh, through the hands. And we'll see if Devin Fly can catch him. Oh. Oh, he can't. That's going to be another score. I'm not sure how that wasn't intercepted. That went right through the hands of number 3. I'm going to assume that's Talon Pinkley. Talon Pinkley. Jaden Reinhardt's number 3 also, but he's not in the game right now, I'm sure. So assume it's Pinkley. So now we'll go for 2 again. We'll get the swinging gate out here again against the freshman and sophomore boys who have no clue how to line up against it, I'm sure. And the clock stops again because of the score. 9:38. Stream stops at 9:45. So we got 7 minutes to get the rest of these in. And there's the fade to an uncovered receiver out there. And that's a 2-point conversion. So that's going to make it 83-36. If you had the over at 118.5, that 2-point conversion just made you gold. 119 total points scored in this game here tonight. So if you were wondering if the scoreboard goes that high, the answer is yes. However, if there was a third digit in front of our score and we had scored a few more, like I'm sure we probably could have if Coach Pope wanted to, I don't think it would fit because I don't see any extra room for an extra digit in front of the 8 right now. So just, in case you were wondering. Just a reminder, Wednesday we got a volleyball broadcast that will come to you. We'll do the JV and freshman games. Those start at 4:30. Freshman game, 5:30 usually is the JV game. Varsity games, they try to get started by 6:30. Now that they go 5 sets, they can be long nights with 3 games, potentially up to 11 sets. So they try to start as early as possible. So we get finished before 9 o'clock. But very good Windsor team coming to the Peggy J. Johnson Gymnasium. Very good St. John team that we have this year. Come see them if you have a chance. If you don't have a chance, watch them on YouTube. I believe we have Jaden Reinhardt on the call and Jacob Johns, I think, on Wednesday. So 2 of the guys out here on the field, they're going to be calling that varsity game on Wednesday. Those kids do a great job, not only calling the game, but prepping for the game and getting the graphics ready and getting the lineup stuff ready. And pretty soon we'll have some video editing stuff coming for you, some highlights from previous games and things of that nature. So looking forward to a lot of the things we have. We got a really good group in that first hour broadcasting class this year. And we're hoping to not only bring you a lot of content, but to bring you quality content. And hopefully people don't leave graphics over the video like I did tonight because I wasn't doing my job. But they're better than me, so they can do it when they're available and they're not out on the football field. All right, so there's an E for St. John, and that will take us down to 1 minute on the clock. So they'll have to do it one more time after the 40-second mark. Anytime after the 40-second mark, it'll be the last snap of the game. And graciously, we'll be able to go home. These lopsided games make for a long night. But Orchard Farm on Friday, again, we'll try to bring you that game, but we have not heard or have not reached out to as of yet Orchard Farm about their internet capabilities or what we would have access to up there. So if we can bring it to you, we'll bring it to you. If not, Wednesday volleyball, and next Friday or the following Friday will be homecoming. So hope to see all of you in 2 weeks for sure back here at Dragon Stadium for homecoming. And until then, have a good night from Dragon Stadium where St. John wins 83-36. We'll see you next time.